Do you think you should
All right
bring the
then.
blinds down like a foot or something? What if your neighbor
Yeah, I'll
comes out
try.
naked?
It's fine. I guess I'll. Yeah, it's kind of weird for random people to end up in the background of the video. Let me.
Mysterious blur will happen, I'm sure.
That's good enough. They're out of the video now.
Yeah.
I need
What
to
about
think of a
hanging
good intro.
dongs though?
I think there could still be a hanging dong here,
Yeah.
but we'll
I'm
just deal with
joking.
hanging dongs at the time with occasion arises.
Hopefully nothing's arising.
Oh God! Welcome to another episode of the Yami Shibai podcast. I'm your host, Ghosty, joined once again by the King of Dongs. You don't want to introduce yourself as the King of
Oh,
Dongs?
Germ. I'm the Germ.
You thought you were me. How could you forget?
You just
The
you're
Dong
opening.
Don over here.
Oh, you just wrecked me at that opening. Oh my gosh.
I loved your pause. I really had you just like off guard there, I guess.
You've caught me very off guard.
I feel like as time has gone on with whatever you want to call this, a discussion podcast, we've become more and more just unfiltered. So we'll see where this goes.
I think that's natural. That's very natural.
Yeah, that's true. We just don't give a shit anymore.
Give enough. That's what I think. That's the important part. You give enough.
I've pulled back the mask and you're seeing the real me. Anyways, let's get into Yami Shibai. Step right up and have a look. It's time for Yami Shibai. Episode title, White Line. The episode begins. We join our main character, a teacher who stayed late after school to get some work done. She just so happens to look outside to see a teenager dragging a turf paint stripe machine, name validated by the germ using Google, leaving a white line behind him. This is like the kind of machine that people use to mark off lines on soccer fields and stuff before they play a game.
Excuse me, it's a turf paint stripe machine.
I guess technically, if you want to be technical, it's a turf paint stripe machine.
I was looking it up and I was cracking up on how like when people talk about it, be like, "Oh, the turf paint stripe machine." Just
it's quite a mouthful.
Yeah.
I think we need an abbreviation like a TPS or something.
I don't know if do you think it's registered?
I think it's probably too niche to need that.
Yeah.
The teacher goes outside to find out what's going on, but he's already gone, leaving a white line continuing into the school. She follows him to the stairs. She can hear them dragging their turf paint stripe machine through the halls.
Gonna laugh every time you say it.
She captures a glimpse of him down the hall, but loses him again. Annoyed, she continues to follow the line, leading her to the roof. The white line goes under a set of big, heavy metal doors, leading to the roof. She doesn't have a good feeling about this. I should have paused for a comma there. She doesn't have a good feeling about this, but goes through them anyway.
I almost put a Star Wars reference here. Almost.
What's this? What could be a Star Wars reference?
In almost every Star Wars movie, they say, "I don't have a good feeling about this."
I
didn't notice
that.
I didn't notice till someone pointed it out to me.
I gotta brush up on my Star Wars lore. I haven't actually watched a Star Wars movie in like 5-6 years. The one where whatever the second of the newest ones was, I just gave up after that.
The third one's not worth watching. Straight
That's
up.
what I thought. The first one of the new ones was so good though.
I like that one so much.
Yeah. What a letdown.
Yeah. Everyone has different feelings about it though. One of our good friends loves the third movie, and he's a wacko.
Confirmed. Terrible taste. I say, as somebody who's never seen the movie.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Whoa.
That's
good.
a line
good
from
twist.
the movie.
I'm impressed you can remember a quote for that.
That quote, every time someone makes fun of that movie, that's what they reference.
Uh, Somehow, Yami Shibai returned. The line that she was following led straight off the roof. She worriedly looks off the rooftop to see a white impact mark, but no sign of the boy or the turf paint stripe machine.
Oops.
More
Oops.
importantly,
Oops. My bad. My bad.
she looks back to see the white line is turning black and coming towards her. Meanwhile, she hears footsteps coming up the stairs. Not just one footstep, but many footsteps.
Oh, feet steps. That's scary. We had a whole episode about that.
It's a good horror trope. The doors swing open in front of her, and she sees shadow people, one by one, lurching towards her.
Ooh, lurching. Fun.
Fancy word, eh? She spots the boy through the window as the shadows come towards her. The boy must have led them here with his line. Made by his trusty turf paint stripe machine.
Oh, that turf paint stripe machine never let you down.
It's a classic ghost utility. We hear splats on the ground below and see new chalk marks appear. We see a shadow quickly rise and drop from the roof. She must have went with them as well. The end.
That's so close. To the ending theme song. It's so close.
They should hire me for a Yami Shibai narration guest appearance next season, please.
All sound effects made by, the Ghosty.
Bang my line. You know where to find me.
Before we talk about anything else, this one picture took me like 15 minutes to get.
It's funny. I was already late to come record this, but with that scene, I was like, what the hell? I would reverse back and tried to stop it too. It's so hard.
I had to slow down the footage by 32%, and I'd still miss it. It's there for 2 frames.
I got it first try, actually, so
what?
I guess it's a skill issue.
What?
Yeah. But I think mine was a little bit higher up. It was like, it's like around here.
Well, for my member, it goes boop, 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 and then you see his head, and then he's gone.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong then.
Yeah.
I wanted to go check if it was the woman or a shadow.
I saw these freaking things so much. And I just sit here for like good 30 seconds with just like this image, and then another one would appear. I'm like, oh, I'm ready. It's after 5, it will appear. And then I'd miss it. And I'd have to go back and watch them again.
I think they made this scene so quick because honestly the animation looked quite shit.
Oh yeah, that's okay. You work with what you have.
They just kind of like took the static image and
yep, just tossed it.
Off it goes. So I also went back through and tried to find where there was real footage in this episode, but I didn't see.
Yeah, I don't think there is any real footage in this episode. You know what it was?
Turf paint stripe machine.
The turf paint stripe machine was real the whole time, and we didn't even notice.
Can we go back and look at an image? I don't think it was.
We never get a great look at the turf paint stripe machine. Oh, here we go. This is the best.
Okay, definitely not real.
Yeah, it was not real, but I looked up some information. Sorry, good.
It should have been real based off of the trend so far this season. They're just abandoning the theme, I guess.
I think they spent all their money on this episode.
You think so?
I don't know, but that's what I wonder.
Maybe a turf paint stripe machine is too expensive to get a real version of. They couldn't just go by some high school and borrow it.
Maybe nice and simply, they just couldn't fit a real video into here, real pictures.
I feel like they could have done something, like even like looking over a balcony or something could have worked for the school roof.
But yeah, it needs to be a school roof though. Like they're very uniform in Japan.
I think any kind of balcony could have sufficed.
No, I don't
As
think
long as it
so.
was long enough, we might not know the difference.
Oh, I see. From the big metal doors.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe they could have pulled that off.
Strange. I don't like that they just abandoned the trope like halfway through the season right now.
Because no, it's not abandoned. It might be only this episode.
They just forgot.
Yeah. I haven't gone over
They're like, yeah, we're done.
the last
Ship it.
episode of this season yet, but I know there's real footage in the next
Strange.
one. Yeah. I really just either it was they had the budget not to do it this time, or they just couldn't fit it in. I really think that's what it was.
I kind of got the feeling for the real footage in the other episodes too. They were just using whatever items they already owned.
Oh yeah, and how often do you have a turf paint stripe machine just sitting around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't worth it in that respect.
I have 12 ordered. No.
I'm so worried next time we speak, you're going to have a fleet of turf paint stripe
Boop,
machines.
boop.
Your
What's it in my
obsession
lap?
with these things.
This
I bet they're kind of
it,
expensive. That's a niche product.
probably. You know what? This is going to be a turf paint stripe machine channel from now on.
Oh my god.
Dark Side Discourse talk about turf paint stripe machines.
I mean, I'm sure we're in a pretty niche topic already. So I don't think our viewership could go down.
It can always go down.
True, true.
So I did look more information up about it. It
Mhm.
seems like most of them are like a chalk spray. Some people sometimes use like spray paint. You still use a device to make it straight. Like yeah, it's like yeah, weird, right?
I thought it was like a bucket like full of chalk and then there's some kind of mechanism on the bottom that like dispenses it at a set rate.
It's it's not like a powder though. It's like a
Paint?
spray to stick on the
Yeah,
grass.
interesting.
It the primarily it is made from chalk, but you can also just go with white spray paint as well, from what I've read online.
I guess in that case you could just walk around with a I think I've seen something like that before where it's like a spray paint can on a stick.
Mm.
And you just walk around spraying it.
From what I've seen online, they still use even if you use the spray can, white spray paint can, you still have a device that will like precisely put the line where you want it.
Makes sense. I don't think I could draw a very straight line with like a spray paint can on a stick.
Me neither.
Maybe a skill issue though.
Yeah.
Did you
So,
notice anything else about this episode?
well, I liked that it could be a story you could hear at any school. And then the teacher followed the white line to the roof.
That's true. It is kind of a classic kind of
Yeah.
like ghost story.
That's
And
what I
now
really...
she haunts the school. Every sports game, she curses the team. Something like that.
You see her following the white line.
Uh,
The ghost design could have been better.
yeah, it was pretty before they revealed the ghost this episode, I was like, oh, it's been a while since we saw a good ghost. Let's see what we get this time. And I wasn't really too impressed.
Just shadow people.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that was effective though, when the shadow people are coming up and she may or may not have been knocked off the roof, the white marks hitting the ground.
That's true.
I thought that was a
That
cool
was a pretty
effect.
cool effect. Yeah.
It's just too bad one of them wasn't red, but that's okay.
Maybe too much for Yami Shibai.
Maybe.
I don't know if they've ever shown blood actually.
Oh, the tooth episode, for example.
Was there blood or was it
Yeah,
just
remember
teeth
the
on
trail
bone?
of blood leading to where the other girl was sleeping?
Oh yeah. But that was like not that in that context it's not that vulgar, I guess.
For me, I think it's worse personally. It's more relatable.
Yeah, it was kind of like a definitely a body horror type of thing.
Yep. It's blood's not very common though.
No, it's definitely rare. But I actually think some of the more grotesque stuff they had in the last season was probably way worse than blood.
Yeah.
Definitely some trauma for some children.
Oh, definitely. uh, let me just
Any other
look
observations?
just looking over my notes. Let's see. Oh, it wasn't 50%. It was 0.12%.
Wow. You're dedicated.
Oh my geez, I spent way too long in that one freaking slide. Here, let's look at it one more time just to appreciate it.
Yeah, that's true.
Just one more time
Wow. This could be one of the only places where you can see this image.
without a lot of work.
I appreciate it.
Okay,
Respects paid.
let's move on to comments. It's my turn to start this week. Grist 1987 says, "Nope. Would have been better if she had gotten off the roof with a fire escape or something, gotten home and seen a white line leading under her door," which I think is fascinating idea.
It was pretty straightforward in its current storytelling, so I can see why people would want like one more twist or something.
Yeah, like she's home, she's feeding her fish, she turns around and she's a white line coming right towards her. The end.
I feel like they've done that kind of thing in so many episodes though that I wouldn't have been that impressed still.
I agree. This isn't the way I'd want it to go, but it's an interesting way to go.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. 98 Sparks said, "This one was good, but damn, why would she stay near the edge? SMH. I would have moved away from I would have moved out of the way."
I avoided talking about this because I knew I had some comments about this. Why didn't she
Hmm.
move out of the way?
Well, she had no reason to think that.
She saw the line turning black.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but she had no reason to think that would knock her off. And we
Yeah.
don't know if she got knocked off or if she jumped off because she was scared.
Oh, that's a good point.
It could be either. Or maybe she got possessed and jumped off. Like there's many options.
I
It's not
still
necessarily she got pushed over.
I still feel like if you heard people coming up the stairs and you're scared, you would hide?
Hmm, maybe, but
I'm not
even
saying
then, you
it's
want to have as much room between you and the
yeah,
creepy shadow guys as possible.
yeah.
So
I don't know. I'm just not standing on a white line that turns black beneath my feet. No, I'm not standing on that.
yeah, I would at least step to the left or something.
Yeah. Tron Mutron Biphase says, "At least she was hot."
40 thumbs up.
There were so many comments about this teacher. And
Oh no.
I was taking note of slide 25. There is a slide where I had to be really careful. This slide, she gets closer to the camera, and you can see a lot.
You can't do any of these things for anime fans. Look
No.
in the comments, like it's gonna be a shit show.
So many people were mentioning it. So many. This was an appropriate one.
Bless their souls. Jola Jas said she had a feeling she really shouldn't open the door. Opens the door.
Classic.
I mean, what else are you gonna do? You're just gonna go back and be stuck with that question forever?
Yeah, you're also in a horror show. There's no way you're not opening the door. No
That would have been the
way.
lamest episode of all time.
Mike Lovin says, "What really happened was the sports team was running behind her with straws in a contest to see who could snort the most coke and knocked her over the edge by mistake."
With the title of the episode, that seems like where it was going.
Yeah. Very funny rewrite of the episode.
Kinda Wandering said, "This is a comment written by a frustrated viewer. Those who read it are aware that his frustrations comes from the narrator explaining things that are happening on the screen instead of providing insight into the things that are not so obvious." I kind of agree with this comment.
Mhm,
Like, there's not really a reason. Like, I was complaining about this at the start of the season. I just got used
mhm.
to it.
I believe there's a comment that actually makes me feel a lot better about the narrator coming up, but I just thought it was an interesting comment and written it in a really interesting way.
I could tell they were really, really annoyed. They put so much effort into this.
uh, Souk City says, "I think the powder was salt," which is an interesting theory.
That's usually related to ghosts, right?
Yep.
I don't know if there's any scenario where salt turns black, but
No.
maybe there's some
Oh,
ghost
but we have
affiliation there
actually
too.
seen salt turn black before. Do you remember the Umbrella Goddess episode?
Yep.
They have a bowl of salt that turns black in that.
Oh, interesting. That'd be a cool throwback if that's the case.
I just thought it was an interesting idea.
PF Flax or P Flax said the result was predictable, but this was clearly based on a ghost story like you'd tell around the campfire. And at least it didn't stop early like they do sometimes. Oh, that's true. That is annoying when they do that. And then Nelson Smith replied,
Yell at
and
this
he
comment,
said,
just by the way.
Sorry?
Yell at this comment, the one I keep referencing in last episode and this episode. That this is the comment from Nelson Smith.
Ah, yes, I remember last episode. You're like, there's context. It was major foreshadowing. So the whole campfire vibe was evident from the first episode of this season. It's amazing how few people didn't seem to get it and just keep bitching about the narrator all season long, not realizing they were being told a story.
Yeah, right. I think that makes it more interesting.
I don't necessarily. Okay, first off, I don't think it's evident.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's no indication that it's campfire, but I was kind of seeing it as like after the theme song where the masked dude is talking, that he's just talking about whatever film he's showing people.
Yeah.
I always kind of had that mental image from every season with the narrator.
I agree. I think that's the way I took it originally as well. But I think they try to do new things each season, and I think that's the thing for this season. I think they're trying to have it like you're at your friend's house, you're eating marshmallows in their backyard, and you're telling each other scary stories.
I feel like that could be conveyed a little bit better, but
yeah,
I'm getting more used to it now. It used to really annoy me.
Okay. From
Right, you got this
Zialis116. Okay, wall text. Here we go. Quote, she followed the white line made of suspicious powder, likely impressionable on the school grounds, running after the boy drawing it. She accelerated into what she thought was an open doorway, only to realize it was too late. The door had been painted onto a solid wall. When the line continuing through it, as her consciousness faded, she could see a feathered figure running through the painted doorway, as if it were real. And the last sound she heard were the flickering tongue and a single word repeated twice. Meep, meep.
That was a good comment. It deserves more than one thumbs up.
The thing is, they commented so late after the episode came out.
Yeah, it's been like, what, 5 years?
Yeah. The episode came out like between 7 and 8 years ago, and this comment came out 2 years ago.
It came out. It was revealed.
Yeah. I thought this was a really funny comment, and it looks like a lot of work went into it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Good reference. Good reference. Last comment.
Swiggy said
their stuff
on
before.
forums. Oh, you recognize it? I don't recognize it.
I recognize Swiggy from the...
Oh, yes, that's right. But why, though? Line of salt, right? I think actually this is a cautionary tale of staying behind and not on the line at train stations.
Isn't that an interesting idea? I don't think it is, but it's a fascinating idea.
It is a cool idea, but I don't think that's it at all.
But I like it.
I think they've just never seen a turf paint stripe machine before, whatever you call it.
We all need a turf paint stripe machine in our lives to lead us straight down the narrow path, you know?
Exactly.
So, themes and metaphors.
I thought... sorry, go ahead.
Do you mind if I go first?
Go for it.
I think it's definitely about suicide. Like, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm on the same page as you there.
But I have a pet theory.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see this in any of the comments. I was a little worried someone was going to steal my thunder, and I didn't see anyone say this. I think the teacher either drove students to jump off the building, or she was a bully in her high school days. And this was a student getting revenge.
Oh, maybe. I like that.
Yeah.
It's more deep. It's like the spirits came to get revenge for what she did to them.
Yeah.
That's cool. I have a slightly different angle on it. Still about suicide.
Yeah.
But just because she was working late, it showed she took the job very seriously and cared a lot about her students. So she was feeling the pressure and burden of looking after all these students, and the shadows were the ones that she couldn't support or save. And she was feeling the pressure and guilt of not being able to save them all, and it ended up in suicide.
That is, I like that too. That's interesting.
And nothing to do with lines at train stations.
I think all three of our theories are very good.
Yeah, not to knock on them, but it's wrong.
I think out of the three of our theories, that one was the weakest. But so, what is your personal score there, Ghosty?
I didn't really find this episode that interesting. Like one of the comments said it was very straightforward. I agree with that. The
You mean
turf
like
paints.
a turf paint stripe machine would do?
Oh, that's true. That makes me want to rate it higher. But the turf paint stripe machine was kind of like a weird concept to me. I wasn't really like drawn into it. So for me, it's like a 3 out of 10.
But it draws you in so well.
Literally draws you. But
In a
it was not
box.
doing it for me.
Yeah. It's only a 3.
Only a 3.
I personally loved this episode. The only negative that I found about the episode was the design of the antagonist, which was the ghosts. I found kind of boring, which is shadow people.
What
But
made you
like for
love it
me,
so much?
9 out of 10. I love this episode.
9 out of 10. Why? I don't get it. I really do not get it. What's the redeeming factor?
I love the buildup of like her following the line.
I guess so. But there's many other episodes where people follow stuff. What's special about a line?
The turf paint stripe machine. You don't understand, Ghosty.
That's true. That's true. It is your obsession.
I really enjoy this episode. I really think it's like the build up, the simple concept of a white line, and like episodes would really feel like it could be kids talking around the campfire. Really seem to get me, you know?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I just don't really think there wasn't enough parts to it for me, and there's no creep factor
And that's fair.
to really give it a high score.
Yeah.
I respect your opinion, but it's wrong.
And I forgot to write down our the final score overall, but that's easy. 12.
At least it's simple mental math.
Oh. So, the next episode is called Snow Hut. What do you think this is about?
It takes place in Canada. It's about the abominable snowman coming and wreaking havoc on some kids that are camping inside of their the snow hut they made on a snow day.
So, not the abominable snowman, but the kids in their snow hut. You have 100% correct.
Hey,
so I'll give
Canada
you like 50 because there's not like a big abominable snowman.
Interesting.
You're close.
I'm interested how this will go.
Thank you for joining me, Ghosty.
Thank you for joining me. It's been real. Your host, Ghosty.
Thank you for being you. Bye.